All right, hi everyone. Bjorkvin Benedictson from Audio Issues here, author of Step by Step Mixing, and I'm here to confidently help you confidently finish your mixes so you can be proud to release your records. Today we're going to look at another live mix stream, a few recaps from what I was doing with my customers today. They could log in and see me work on a track from beginning to, well, basically to when I'm sick of trying to figure something out, or I've gotten a good rough mix going, or basically whatever happens after the hour and a half mark. So we're working on a really fun song here, sort of an Alice in Chains-esque uh, grungy hard rock song, full of vocals and hard guitars, things of that nature. And thought I'd just show you a few different things that I did. Before we get started, I just want to remind you to like and subscribe. And then if you want my 7-step mix cheat sheet to help you finish your mixes, go to mixfinisher.com and download the cheat sheet there. All right, so today, a few things that I just jotted down here to make sure I mentioned is, first of all, when you're mixing rock music, you have a tendency to mix really, really hot. And that happened to me today. I was getting into it, and I was just mixing the song way too hot from the start. So don't mix it too hot from the start, because you're gonna end up needing to turn everything down. If you need to crank up the volume of something, crank up your monitor controller, or crank up the volume of your speakers. Don't push your faders into the red. Try to be a little conservative on that side. And then, honestly, sometimes when a mix isn't working from the start, it might have nothing to do with the actual tracks themselves. Maybe you're just in a bad zone and it's not working out for you. Maybe you just need to give it a rest for a sec. That's what happened to me. So I just went to the grocery store, got something to eat, got to change out of my work clothes. So even though this guy needs to wear a collared shirt all the time, I actually do not always do that as well. But he always has to wear a collared shirt, and so don't get too upset if like things aren't like just working out from the start. Come back with a fresh set of ears, and have a little drink maybe if you need it, and then return to the mix with fresh ears and fresh ideas, new ideas that you maybe your subconscious is thinking about. So that's sort of a good sort of philosophy for now, today. But a few technical techniques and tricks and challenges that I ran into today, so that you might be interested in. First of all, make sure all the tracks are edited and nicely in phase. We ran into some phase issues with the snare. The snare bottom was not quite in polarity with the snare top, and when I used when I flipped the phase or flipped the polarity on the bottom track, it sounded fuller. So when you have double mic'd instruments in any way, throw an EQ with a polarity switch on there, flip it back and forth, and see when it's which side sounds fuller. And honestly, I ended up not using the bottom track, and I'm debating replacing some of the drum sounds, but it's getting there, so it's not too bad at the moment. And then the same goes for the toms. We were running into issues. I was trying to get a cleaner drum sound. The drum sound was cluttering up a lot of stuff, and I was trying to get a good sound from the toms, but there was just simply too much bleed from the toms in general. So as you can see here, these toms are just tightly edited. Some fades in. This could even be edited even further, a little bit better, kind of like that. Not too worried about this at the moment. But as you can hear, as you can see here, there's a lot of bleed coming out of the track, and you want to make sure that isn't in the drum track themselves. I'm not a big fan of gates, so they always seem hard for me to dial in correctly. So it's either editing all that stuff out, and cutting it out like I'm showing you here, or you can also replace the toms, of course. But as you can hear, there's a lot of bleed coming here. So we don't want any of that. It sounds terrible. You want to just make it as clean as possible. So you're left with, I think these drums are decent for you to hear. Yeah, this maybe needs a little more, a little better of a fade. In the context of the mix, it's not as bad. But anyway, so that's one of the things. Just make sure you edit out any noises and extraneous noises, background bleed, those sorts of things. It'll make your life easier. Like I say in the step-by-step mixing book, doing audio editing before mixing is kind of like cleaning up the kitchen before you cook. It's infinitely more interesting and more fun and creative to cook when you don't have to be washing the dishes all the time as well. You just wash the dishes beforehand. That's it for that. And then one other thing, I had an interesting kick treatment going on here that I thought I'd show you. So I gated the kick drum. I actually tried to gate the kick drum. And then the kick drum was giving me a lot of like low end oomph and sort of like grossness in the decay of the track. And I fixed that by gating it, and then I use a transient designer to cut the tail off the off the kick itself. And it's routed to, some of the stuff here might be contributing to it. There is an R bass, there is EQ, there is a little bit of pull tech going on, and there is a compressor too. But I managed to sort of clean it up a little bit with this. So if you can hear, let's hear this without the gate and the transient designer. So you can hear a lot of rumble there. And let's check to see if that can be fixed here just by not using the R bass or the 1176 or this here. Let's just check it. I haven't soloed this in a while, so. So still kind of rumbly, kind of gross there. So what I did was I added a gate, and then I took that rumble out with the transient designer. Yeah, the toms still sound pretty shitty. I need to work on figuring out that low end rumble there. But as you can maybe hear, how that low end of the kick was cleaned up quite nicely. Maybe a weird way to go about it, but I was trying to troubleshoot at the time, and I thought it was an interesting solution that you might be able to use in your tracks if you're mixing a hard music like this, or you have unnecessary boominess or unnecessary sort of rumble that you can't figure out how to get rid of with EQ. And then just put in context of the mix. That's always a better way to gauge how anything sounds. Obviously, this is a work in progress. Still haven't gotten quite to where I want it to be, but sounding better than it was before. And as you may hear, there's a lot of guitar bleed coming out of the drum sound because they recorded it all live, which poses its own set of challenges as well. But here's just a little bit of a piece of what's going on here. Let's find a good spot and just give you a little bit of a sneak peek. Yeah, so there's still a little bit of work to be done in the bass and guitar sort of leveling department. The vocals are coming together nicely. They're a lot better than when I left them before taking a break earlier. So if you're not knocking it out of the park at the beginning, don't worry, you can always come back to it later. So that's probably good enough for today. Just want to remind you to check out the Mix Finisher formula at mixfinisher.com. Once again, my name is Björk Finn Benediktsson from Audio Issues. Thanks for watching.